Hello everyone, welcome back. As promised, I said that I would show you my meal prep and how I meal prep with VSG. So the first I'm going to show you my first best friends, and that is Rubbermaid's tag-alongs. As you can see, there's 4 in a pack, and they are, hold on, they are 1.2 cups. I'm going to tell you, these are what I pack my lunch in. This is what I use daily. I've tried other brands. They all stink. These are number one, and no, I am not sponsored by them. So this is one of the many that I have. I actually have about 7, one for each day right now. They're hard to find. This is the first time I ever found them separate. I used to have to buy the big giant container of all the different sizes in them in order to get at least 5 of these. I think 5 came in either 5 or 4 came in the pack. But over the years, as things get icky, they go in the recycling bin, and there you go. So these are the first thing that I use. And then the second thing, my second best friends are these, the minis. They're called mini stackers, and they're 1/2 cup. These are my best friends. I use them often. Because we can't eat much, there really isn't a whole lot. So I'm going to show you what they look like. They were a little further than I expected them to be. So these are the little snackers. And they come 6 in a container. But I have tons of them because I need them. You guys, this is like life here. This is where I eat my meals. Believe it or not, this is my breakfast. I will, as you can see, it has the, I'm sorry, let me see if I can get it to focus here. Okay, it says 3 ounces and 1 ounce. So I will fill this up, and I will have my breakfast in these, which is usually grits. I love it. I love grits. And then this is my lunch container. This is how they are. They are very, very, very strong. They uphold a whole lot. And I'm looking, oh, here we go. Can you see it? I'm going to wait for it to focus. It says 1.2 cups. So that is 10 ounces cup. And this is what I meal prep my my meals in. This is my breakfast. This is my dinner and my lunch size. What I do is I set them out. So I'm going to show you what I do. I make my decision what I want to meal prep in that week. And I pull my containers out. And I usually have 6 of these, but the other ones are already still meal prepped. So we're going to just do the 4. So what I do is I make the decision on what is going to be my base. Because there's usually 3 layers in these cups. 3. Usually the base is quinoa. Because we're not allowed to have rice or pasta or anything like that. So quinoa is my best friend. I'm being honest. You guys can use whatever you want. You can use beans, lentils. Sometimes I do when I have a taste for them. Sometimes I'll make cauliflower rice as my base. Sometimes I use broccoli rice as my base, depending on what it is. And it's not really rice. It just looks like the consistency of rice, but it's just minced up broccoli or minced up cauliflower. So whatever I'm in the mood for that week, I will put that in the bottom. And then on top of that, most of the time, it's raw spinach. I usually put like a, I'm going to say like a half an ounce of spinach on top of it. And then what I put on top of that is usually my protein. As a vegetarian, I usually just find whatever I have in my freezer so it doesn't go bad. So it's either a veggie burger, veggie hot dog, sausage, whatever I have in my stash, I will cut it up and stick that on top because that is my protein. And then I just put the lids on them. And then I put them in the freezer, believe it or not. These are great in the freezer. I put them in the freezer so that as I need them, I'll go. Because sometimes I'm not in the mood to have that week. And I don't want to make myself, I don't want to spoil my food. So that's how I do it. So you just stay tuned and I'll show you exactly. I'm going to speed up the video and show you exactly how I load it up and what I, do. What I just explained that I did. So I shall return. Be right back. Prep ideas for breakfast. So I always get this. This is always in my stash, which is the Orco's 000. I always get the vanilla flavor because of how I use it. So it's 15 grams of protein and 5.3 ounces, but I never can eat a whole one. I always split it in half. So with that, I usually have this. And then these are my favorite cereals of choice. Of course, I don't drink milk, or well, I can't drink and eat at the same time because of the operation. So I found a way around to still have my cereal milk. So as you can see, they're 10 grams of protein for every 3/4 cup. See it right here? 3/4 cup. You get 10 grams of protein. Totally worth it for me because I don't get enough calories in a day. And I don't get my protein unless I, do this. So I'm going to show you how I make it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to move these out the way. Also, to increase my protein, so this is 15 plus the 10 make 25, plus 25 make 50 grams of protein, but I don't eat them both. This is going to make 2 breakfasts. So I just wanted to show you that. This is my protein powder of choice. So the first thing I do is I get a bowl. Sorry, I wasn't prepared. And a spoon. And I open my yogurt up and I dump it in the bowl. This is the first thing that I do because, like I said, I can't eat all of this in one sitting. I can't. I tried, but it doesn't work. I try to scrape as much as I can out because I want all of my good stuff in here. And I just get rid of that, put it in the recycling bin. Okay. So the next thing I do is I get my protein powder, which is 25 grams of protein. So I can open it. I don't know what it is about me and Ziplocs. I cannot get them open. I feel like a child lock. So I get my 15 grams and I stick it in here. That never happens, but of course on camera it does. So I just, slowly mix it up. Looks clumpy now, but it will get better. That spillage is bothering me. Okay. Ooh, oh my God, I never do this. I never waste any of it because I have a thing about wasting food. I don't like to waste. I guess because I'm on camera, so awkward position. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So anyway, I just mix this up until it gets, all mixed in, blended in, and starts looking like, like what's it called? Like yogurt. Don't look like yumpy, but as you can see, as you mix it, it starts going back to the consistency it was. Now, I usually eat this at home. I usually don't take it to work, but when I do, I put it inside of I have bowls that I hated. Remember I told you about the bowls that I use, especially for lunch, especially when I'm going to work. There are some other ones that I did try, and they are awful. But I leave them here because I bought them. Thankfully, they were only $1. So I kind of use them as disposable, because they're flimsy and the lids don't stay on, and no wonder they were $1 for like a pack of 6 of them. So as you can see, the consistency is there. I always try and make sure I mix it up really well. So I have these containers here, and these are 9 ounces. I believe they're 9 ounces. Yes, they are. These are 9 ounces, so I have 2 of them. Put that to the side and get the other one out. They're really flimsy. As you can see, you can bend them. The tops don't stay on, and I hate them. So I use them for home. So what I do, I just eyeball it. I don't bother measuring it. So mind you, this is 40 grams of protein right now in this bowl. So I split them up to make them 20 grams each. awkward trying to get this. So I just eyeball it and I scrape as much of it as I can. And I tell my brain, you got it all. So you can have all my 20 grams of protein for breakfast. Actually, it's not really 20. It's 20 right now if I eat it just like this, but I never do. Because as you know, the Kashi is 10. So I do meal prep this ahead of time. Because this is how I do it. I always seem to pour more in the right side than I do on the left. So I try and scrape every bit out. And now, yummy. I eat the rest off the spoon so we don't waste it. So, all right. So this is how it looks. It's about half. There, yep. So this is 20 grams each of protein for breakfast. Now, if you don't want the crunch of the Kashi, then you can just eat that and have your 20 grams, and you have 20 grams of protein just for breakfast. Me, I take my little snack bags and I fill it up with a cup and a half of Kashi cereal. I mix them up between the peanut butter and the chocolate crunch. Those are my favorite. So I just take half of it and I pour it in there when I'm ready to eat it. But before I do that, because I don't want it soggy, if I'm in the mood for a crunch, I'll pack these up like this. And I'll store them in the fridge and I take them as I go. Most likely I eat them while I'm making my husband lunch and dinner. And breakfast and lunch for the weekday. And then I'll put this on top and then I'll open it up one side and pour it in there. And then I'll sit and eat it while I'm making my husband's lunch. So this is kind of what it looks like. I don't know, can you see? I want to make sure you can. And it's really delicious. And it's 30 grams of protein for breakfast. Okay, so now we're going to do lunch and or dinner, because sometimes I'll eat the same thing depending on my mood, and it depends on what I cook my husband. But for lunch, this is how I prepare my lunch. In these 1.2 cups, I meal prep them in these. And then I pick my green vegetable, so the first thing I always do is get this seasoned quinoa. I love it. I eat it all the time. I got bags and bags of it in my freezer. That's what I love. I'm vegetarian, so this is my protein choice. Also, in addition to the quinoa, because it's not very many grams of protein. And then I like raw spinach, so I'm just going to put some spinach in it. So this is what I usually do. I usually don't measure my spinach. I usually just grab a bunch and stick it in the bottom. So about a handful, as you can see. I stick it in the bottom. You can measure if you like. I don't choose to do that. I don't measure my my veggies because I don't care. So for my quinoa, however, I should have had all this open. Sorry. I do measure it because according to the packaging, 1 cup of quinoa equals only gives you 5 grams of protein. So I usually don't do a whole cup. I usually do a half a cup of quinoa. So I got 2.2 cups of quinoa in here. I don't measure it exact, but I do because it's still frozen, as you can see. I still have it frozen because I'm preparing for this week. And I don't want to cook my food right now because I'm not eating it right now. So I'll usually, break it up like this and then pour it in. And then I just take the back of the cup and push it down. No big old, fancy hoo-ha. But that's what I do because I need my stuff packed. So I usually just take my protein fake chicken strips. You can use real chicken strips if you eat meat. I don't eat meat, so I usually only do about 3 because I barely can eat this whole thing still. This yields 23 grams of protein for every 12 strips of 12 strips equals 23 grams of protein. So I'll divide that up, and then I can tell you at the end how much protein this is. So this is how let me get my lids. this is what I do on a regular basis. As you can hear, I just dropped my lid. I gotta rinse it off because I don't do ill. I'll get another day because I have plenty of these, and I'm just showing you two. So this is how it looks. This is frozen. I'll put it in my refrigerator because I'll end up grabbing it for lunch for tomorrow, because tomorrow is Monday. And then here's the other one. And this is 1.2 ounces. So basically this is 10 ounces of food. I usually can't eat the whole thing, which is why I don't fill it up, because I don't want to take it home and I don't want to throw it out. So I usually don't fill it all the way up to the top with food. When it cooks down. So this is just 10 ounce container, but it usually goes down, I guess, about 8 ounces, and I barely can eat that when I'm trying. But this is how I do my lunch. My meal prep for my lunch is real simple and easy. You already saw breakfast, now you saw lunch, and this is sometimes dinner as well. So also what I do is sometimes when I meal prep these, I'll pop them in the freezer when I'm done putting them together, and then grab them as I need them, because sometimes I'm not in the mood for this and I may want something different. So in my freezer I have about 6 of these set up. Well, no, not 6, about 4 or 5 of them right now, and they got different stuff on top. Like I'll put tofu, or I might put a Beyond Meat burger, because I do eat them sometimes. I will cut them up. I'll cut it in 4, and then each quarter goes in one of these. That's how I usually do it also. And then I put them in the freezer, and when I'm in the mood for either a burger or my chicken, or my chicken, and or whatever, then that's what I'll do. Sorry, my light just went off, so that means my battery's about to die. But I just wanted to come out and point that I put these in the freezer and I grab them as I go. By the time lunchtime, they're already thawed, and all I need to do is just stick them in the microwave and eat my lunch for the day. So don't forget that. That's what I want to do, because I don't want them to go bad if you're not in the mood, because not everybody's in the mood for everything, same thing every day. So thanks for watching again. Until next time, be blessed.